Hello and welcome back. I'm Joshua Barnes and you're watching NewsX World. Let's first take a look at some of our headlines. Syria's Interior Minister says that violent clashes in the Druze majority city of Suwaida have halted after reports of further action. Israel and Syria have agreed to a US brokered ceasefire after Israeli military action over the sectarian violence. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that Kyiv has offered a new round of direct talks with Moscow for next week as the Russia-Ukraine war continues to rage on. Intensifying aerial attacks from both sides come amid continued calls for a truce. The reported death toll from Israeli attacks on Gaza raid sites yesterday has now risen to 39. That's according to the Gaza Civil Defense Agency. Questions continue to be raised by humanitarian groups over the safety of GHF aid sites in Gaza, following potentially hundreds of casualties. At least 14 people have died, with others missing after heavy rainfall that led to flash flooding and landslides in South Korea. Search and rescue operations are ongoing, with fears that the death toll could still rise. The death toll in Vietnam after a tourist boat capsized has now risen to 37 people, with 5 still missing. The Wonder Sea boat was carrying 48 passengers and 5 crew on a tour of the popular Ha Long Bay when the incident occurred. Japanese citizens are heading to the polls, with voting in the tightly contested upper house election. In a key test for Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, the potential for a loss of LDP-led coalition majority could lead to political instability. A man has been charged with assault with a deadly weapon following an incident in LA, where a car drove into a crowd of people outside of a nightclub. Dozens have been injured, with many in a critical or serious condition. That's according to local emergency services. And Ukrainian boxer Alexander Usyk has further cemented his legacy as a heavyweight all-time boxing great after unifying the division for a second time. This follows a devastating win over Daniel Dubois in London, with the British fighter overwhelmed and stopped in the 5th round.